Welcome to a video taking a look at density. Density is simply the amount of mass contained in a certain volume. Now, what we can say about density is that it has a relationship with volume and mass. And that relationship is that the mass is equal to the volume multiplied by the density. Now, we can write up this relationship in a handy little formula triangle like what I've drawn here, and what we can say is that the volume multiplied by the density will give us the mass. Then what we can say then is that the mass divided by the volume gives us the density, and the mass divided by the density will give us the volume. Now, the way that these things work is that essentially if the two variables are on the same level, we multiply them together to give us the one on the top. If they are on different levels, so mass and volume, we divide the one that's on the top by the variable that's on the bottom, so mass divided by volume or mass divided by density. So let's take a look at using this relationship to answer some problems. Here we're told that a cube has a volume of 200 centimeters cubed. The mass of the cube is 500 grams. What is the density of the cube? Well, now what I like to do is I've just drawn that little formula that we were talking about a minute ago. And the way that I like to use these formulas is I like to cover up the thing that we're looking for. So we're looking for the density. So we're looking for density, so I'm going to cover that up. That means that what I need to do is I need to do the mass, and then it's going to be divided by, because they're on different levels, so it's the mass divided by the volume. So my mass here is 500, my volume is 200, so I'm going to be doing 500 divided by 200. Now that gives me 2.5, but we're missing something here. We're missing a unit. 2.5 what? Well, that comes from our information here. Our mass was 500 grams. Our volume was 200 centimeters cubed. So our unit for density is simply going to be 2.5 grams per centimeter cubed. So for every 1 centimeter cube, the mass is 2.5 grams, and that's all that our density is really. It's the amount of mass contained in a certain volume, in this case centimeters cubed. Okay, let's take a look at our next one. A piece of metal has a mass of 800 grams and a density of 2.5 grams per centimeters cubed. What is the volume of the piece of metal? So, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for volume, so let's just cover up the volume part of our formula. That means we're going to be doing the mass divided by the density. Now the mass here is 800, and I'm dividing the mass by the density, 2.5. And so that is going to give me an answer of 320. So that gives me an answer of 320. And then I'm dealing with the volume. It was grams and grams per centimeters cubed, so the volume is going to be in centimeters cubed. Okay, next one. A boulder has a volume of 5 meters cubed and a density of 205 kilograms per meters cubed. What is the mass of the boulder? So again, all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover up the thing that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for mass, so I'm going to cover up that part of the formula. That leaves me with the volume and the density. They're on the same level, so I'm going to be multiplying these things together. So I'm going to take my volume, which is 5, and multiply it by my density, which is 205. So what is the mass going to be? Well, 5 multiplied by 205, that's going to give me 1,025, and I'm dealing with mass now, and it's kilograms per meters cubed. So 205 kilograms per meters cubed, we had 5 meters cubed, So it's going to be 1025 kilograms. Last one. A triangular prism has a mass of 30 kilograms. The volume of the triangular prism is 8 meters cubed. What is the density of the prism? So again, this time I'm looking for density. Just cover up density. That leaves me with mass and volume. Mass is on the top, volume is on the bottom, so I'm going to do 30, the mass, divided by the volume, 8. That's going to give me an answer of 3.75. So that gives me an answer of 3.75. And so again, I'm left thinking about the units here. It was 30 kilograms and it was 8 meters cubed. So that means that my density is simply going to be 3.75 kilograms per meters cubed.